Hello, everyone. Welcome. Today we're talking about one of my favorite quilting products, and it is fabric. As you can see behind me, we have lots of fun fabric here. I'm going to double check that all of the sound and tech is working here real quick, and then we'll get started chatting about this. Okay, it's working. Awesome. Well, if you're just joining me, welcome. I'm so glad that you're here with me today. And I'm so excited to talk to you about fabric, all the different types of fabric, how to care for it, where to buy it. And then I have a special announcement that involves fabric. And I gave you a sneak peek of it 2 weeks ago. So if you were here, you'll remember a part of it, and it's open now. So leave me a comment below. I would love to know who you are and where you're watching from, and what are you working on? Are you working on a quilting project right now? Or maybe you're finishing up all your harvesting in your garden and you're getting things all canned and ready to go for the winter. I know that we've had some beautiful weather here in Wyoming, which is really weird for us, but I am not complaining. I love it. I love seeing all these trees changing colors and stuff. Usually the wind, the wind, we try not to wake it up, just blows it all away. And so it's been beautiful to be able to see that and enjoy all this weather. So all right, talking about fabric. Where do you buy fabric, right? Well, of course, you can buy it from us here at Journey Back Quilts. You can just go to journeybackquilts.com and you can see the selection of fabric that we have there. But you can also purchase fabric pretty much anywhere. I've seen fabric at Walmart, of course, big box stores like Michael's and Hobby Lobby and Joann's and all those kinds of stores. And then there's your local quilting stores. So, of course, I'm going to encourage you to purchase your fabric from a quilting shop. For one, you're helping support small businesses, and two, you are going to get the highest quality fabric that you can find out there. So, but if that's not in your budget, I'm going to show you some tips and tricks when you're going out looking for your fabric. Now, a lot of times the big box stores do carry a lower quality fabric because it is a lot less expensive. But I have seen some good fabric there as well. So you just want to be careful and watch out for these things. And then there's some tips and tricks you can get away with using cheaper fabric as well. So one of the tips that I have is that when you're looking at your fabric, and you can see this one came from one of those big box stores. And you can see that the threads are just all frayed and they're crazy. Now, this one's not too bad. I've seen some that are way worse than this. But also, you want to go in and look at the stretch of the fabric. This has a lot of stretch to it. And then stretch it the other way as well. One way should be stretchier than the other. So this should be tight and this should be a little stretchy. This is a little too stretchy for my taste, because as you're sewing this down on your quilt, say this is going to be your border, you want to be very careful not to stretch it as you're sewing it, because your quilt will pop back together and then it'll be all crinkly in there. And when you go to long arm it, it'll be hard to get it all square and straight. So when you're using this kind of fabric, just be really careful not to overstretch it, and don't use steam with this. Now, with this kind of fabric, I would probably pre-wash it, because you're going to get all the shrinkage done with in that first wash, so that when you put your quilt together, it won't shrink as badly on you and it won't pull away from your seams. So hi there, Sandra. Thanks for joining. And Kendra and Amanda too. So awesome. I'm glad you guys are joining me here today. So this one is a good fabric, but not the best fabric. So this one is just a remnant from what I was sewing together recently. So, of course, this is one of my favorites. We carry very high quality fabric here at Journey Back Quilts. Most of our fabric comes from Riley Blake Designs. So we have a lot of confetti cotton solids, as you can see here, for you to choose from. I love sewing with solids because it pops that design of your quilt out even more. I like some print type fabrics, and we're going to be getting more and more of those in our shop. We're slowly growing this shop because we've kind of started with custom making quilts and then long arming quilts, and now we're building up the inventory side of our business. So we would love to help you with that side as well. But anyway, so this is a higher quality fabric, and as you can see, it doesn't have as much stretch to it as the other one, and it definitely doesn't going this way. And you can see there's less thread coming off the top than this one. Let's see if I can put them together. So you can see that the threads on this bottom pink one are a little bit more loose and wiggly than this one. So fabric is a lot like sheets. The higher the count of your sheets, the softer the fabric is, and the more your sheets are going to last. It's the same way with quilting fabric. The higher the weave, the tighter the weave, the longer lasting your quilt will be. So if it's something that you want to last for generations, go ahead and splurge and get the good fabric. Now if it's something you're just practicing on and you just kind of you know that it's just going to get dragged through the mud. Maybe it's for a toddler or something, and you know that you're going to make another quilt for that child to last a long time. But this one is going to be their play blanket, and they're going to throw it in the mud, or they're going to take it outside and play forts and stuff with it. Then using the lower quality fabric is okay. You just want to be careful with how you sew it together. Go ahead and pre-wash it so it gets that shrinkage done and over with at the beginning before you piece it together. Now, I don't usually pre-wash my fabric because I'm using a higher quality fabric. So when it shrinks, it's not going to shrink because it has such a tight weave to it. So that kind of can help solve that debate of pre-wash versus not pre-washing your fabric. If it's a lower quality fabric, it's got a looser weave to it and you've got a lot of give to it, go ahead and pre-wash it so it gets its shrinkage done. If it's a higher quality fabric, don't worry about it. Okay, now how about when you wash your fabric, especially if your quilt is done and you use some red like this. Okay, rewind real quick. Another thought I just had was if you're going to buy red, just go ahead and get the high quality fabric, because most of the time, now not all the time, but most of the time, the dye is higher quality. So it is not going to bleed in your washing machine. But if you buy a lower quality fabric, the red will definitely bleed. I have had experience on that. I went ahead and bought some lower quality fabric from a big box store. I was going to use it as the backing for a quilt. This was years ago. And I pre-washed it because I'm like, oh, it's red. It's going to bleed. I don't want it to bleed on this quilt. Well, when I washed it and then pulled it out of the washer, I saw like little white streaks throughout it. I was like, well, that's weird. But I went ahead and dried it anyways. The dye had come out of the quilt so much that it left white streaks running through the quilt, and it didn't look cool. It looked yucky. So I had to return it. Fortunately, they did return it, but just go ahead and get a higher quality fabric if you're going to do reds or dark purples or dark blues, something that has a really dark dye to it. All right, so a product that I love to use is Shout color catchers, especially with the finished quilt. So any finished quilt, I'll throw 1 or 2 of these in with the wash. And what they do is any dye that comes out of the fabric, it's going to catch in the washing machine and hold on to it. Now you want to make sure that, especially if you have a washing machine that it just soaks the fabric and then it just sits in there, that you drain it well so that that dye doesn't come back out and sit and soak into your quilt again. So color catchers are awesome, and they will save all of those quilts. So even if you make a red and white quilt, this will protect that white from turning pink. So color catchers are awesome. And then I always wash my quilts in cold water and then just a normal tumble dry, medium heat-ish. You can hand wash them, especially if they're vintage quilts and they're a little bit more fragile. You may want to wash them in the tub with a vintage wash. And I should have grabbed that too. There is a washing machine detergent that's for vintage quilts. And now I can't remember the name. It's like Vintage Care or Vintage Wash or something like that. I will find the description link and put that in the comments box. Let me make a note of that so I don't forget. Okay. So you may want to wash those vintage quilts in a tub of water and just gently agitate it and then hang it to dry, especially out in the sun for a little while. Not too long though, because you don't want to fade those colors. So that's the other thing with storage. You don't want to store your fabric near a window or somewhere where it's going to be getting that UV light right next to the fabric. If you do, make sure you use a curtain that has UV blocking light, reflectors, so that your fabric doesn't get dim. And I like to store my fabric, my personal fabric. Of course, our shop is all on bolts here, but my personal fabric, I wrap them in it's almost like cardstock, but they are made for magazine inserts, kind of, I think it's for baseball magazines inserts. So it keeps that magazine rigid. And then they come with these little snaps. So I will just wrap my fabric around it and then put that little snap on the end right here. I don't know if you can see it since it's clear, to hold it in place. And that way all my fabric stays nice and neat, and I can stack it like a bookshelf or like the bolts, and it's just a mini bolt all by itself. So isn't that awesome? I love this fabric. This is so cute. I found this at Lickety Stitch Quilts in Lusk, Wyoming. Very cute quilt shop. So shout out to them. If you're near there or you're going to Rapid City, go check out that quilt shop. All right, so we've talked about care and how to find fabric, where to find fabric, how to store your fabric, and now how about width of fabric? Let's just touch on that real quick. So there's two different kinds of fabric width. Now we're talking mostly about cotton fabric, right? So I'm not talking about fleece and flannel and minky and all those different kinds of fabrics that you can use with quilting as well, but we're just specifically talking about cotton fabric today. So there's two different kinds of width to the fabric. Most fabric comes in 42 to 44 inch wide fabric, which is what all of our confetti cottons come in. And then there are wide back fabrics that come at 108 inch wide on a bolt, which is awesome for using on the back of your quilt, so you don't have to piece anything together most of the time down the center. So you get a wide piece of fabric, and it's super nice and handy. So yeah, so that's the basics of fabric. And if you ever have any questions about fabric or where to find fabric or how to care for your fabric, anything, I would love to know your questions. You can join our free Facebook group at Your Quilting Journey Show and Tell page, and there you can send us your questions. You can show off the projects you're making. You can just hang out with other quilters there. We would love to see you and hang out with you there. But we do have a private membership that's called Your Quilting Journey Academy, and that is open through the end of the month. So it closes this Sunday. And in there, we go through all the different stages of a quilting journey, from the very beginning basics of how to get things set up and going, how to use all the tools, all the way to the end of how to finish your quilt with basting and binding and the quilting on a domestic sewing machine with a walking foot, and everything in between, everything you can imagine. So we're going to help you create a quilt that you're going to be proud of. And I would love to have you join us there. So you can check out more. There's a description. There's a link in the description box. And then this next thing I'm going to show you just opened today. We have this block or table topper of the month program. The boxes start arriving in January, so now is the pre-sale time. We have limited quantities of these, so if you want in, you might want to sign up now. So it's a 12-month membership type subscription box. So just like any of those kinds of subscription boxes that you might see, like Fit, Fab, and Fun and all those kinds of fun things, but you're going to get quilting supplies in them. So you're going to get a pattern and all the fabric and the fabric you'll need for the binding for a 36-inch square table topper. So it's a quick project, so you can get through it quickly and enjoy it, and you'll have a different table topper for every month of the year, so you can enjoy it. Now, it starts in January, but you're going to be getting April's box in January, so that you have a few months to get that table topper completed, so that you can enjoy it, right? So I wanted to show you a sneak peek into all of those, and they are just so cute. So this is the first one you'll be getting. Let me see if I can change that to slideshow. There we go. So these are all designed. Oops, a little too fast. There we go. Okay. Um, all designed by different Riley Blake designers. This first one's by Tara Reed at Tara Reed Designs. And look at those adorable bunnies. Aren't they so cute? So you're going to get the fabric and the binding fabric. So you'll just need the backing and the batting to finish these. And they all come in a really cute keepsake type box. So much fun. And I'm also going to be offering a discount on long arming services for these if you would like help getting them completely finished. But they are so small at that 36 inches that you can do this on a domestic sewing machine as well. And if you join our academy, you can learn how to do that. Okay, so the second month is for May, but you'll be getting that box in February. So you can get all your little May flowers finished before May starts. And aren't those beautiful? I love curved piecing. So this one really speaks to my heart, but look at that cute border too. I love it. So this one's designed by Melissa Mortensen by Polka Dot Chair. So cute. And you can go find all of these designers on their Instagram pages and look at all the cool things that they're coming up with. It's so much fun. And this one is for June. It's called Sunny Rainbow by Christy Lee of Quiet Play. And look at that cool color wheel. So cute. And then the fourth one's for July. Bursting in Air. So fun. I love the traditional style quilts like this. They're so pretty. And then the fifth one, this one is for August, is Summer Garden. I love the gingham. So cute. And then Sewing Days is for September. And look at those fun blocks that you're going to learn how to make. The sewing machine and the dress form and all those cute little things. So much fun. So you're going to learn so many different techniques within this next year, as well as getting all these fun little boxes every month. And of course, you can make this into a larger quilt if you want, but the small quilt is just that quick win. You get to learn a new technique and have a finished product really quickly. But if you wanted to turn it into a larger quilt, you could with just borders or adding more blocks or however you want to do it. So they're very versatile. And number 7 is October. One of my favorite designers, Lori Holt. It's Pumpkin Squared. Oh, so cute. I love how the traditional kind of picnic looking blanket with the pumpkins just makes all those colors pop. So much fun. I wish we had it now. And then Thanksgiving for November. So pretty. And then Christmas trees in December. So cute. I love trees with the gingham background. So much fun. You could probably even turn this into a tree skirt if you wanted to. That would be adorable. And then the 10th one is Star Bright. This will be for January's box, but you'll get it in October, I believe. So even if you sign up now, it'll just charge your card the 12-month subscription. There's 2 options. Okay, so there's one monthly, and it will just keep you in there for 12 months. And after that 12 months, it automatically stops. Or you can pay for the full year up front, and we'll send you these boxes every single month. And look at that cute one for February. So fun. Love it. And the last one is one of my friends and favorite designers too, Beverly McCullough. So cute with the shamrocks and the hearts and the rainbow. So much fun. So you can see all these fun different blocks are going to be amazing to make and so much fun. Whoops. Here we go. So much fun to make, and I'm so excited to make them. I have my kits already so that I can start making them up so you can see the examples. And I'm tossing around ideas of doing a sew along with them. So if you are interested in having help with making these, I will make pre-recorded lessons to go along with them if you are interested in that. But they're so cute, and the pattern's going to walk you through all the directions, and it's going to be so much fun. So I'm going to start making mine here in a couple weeks, I hope, for April's, so that you can see it up close and in person and how cute it really is. So all right. Well, thank you again for joining me today. I'm so glad that you were here. And if you're watching the replay, just comment #replay, and we'll catch you all later. I can't remember what next week's theme is, but I'm planning on being here. So I hope you guys have a great weekend, and show me what you're making. Come over to the Facebook group, the Your Quilting Journey Show and Tell page, and I would love to see what you're making over there. All right. If you want to learn more about this Table Topper of the Month program, there is a description link in, oh my goodness, there's a link in the description box. See if I can talk correctly. And you can learn more and join us today. The first box will be mailed to you the end of January, and then you'll get a box every month for the entire year of 2022. I can't believe it's almost 2022. It's crazy. All right. Well, thanks again for joining me. We'll see you next week. Bye for now.